It's gonna be a fluid art live stream. I was messing around with some color combinations earlier, just trying to decide what I wanted to do, and gee, wouldn't you know it, I found a really nice color combination, and I haven't decided on the specific polishes I want to use for it, but I'm thinking a pink, white, and blue mani seems like just the thing right about now. So, not for any particular reason. We're just gonna do some nice fluid art nails. So I'm gonna have to test a few things because as I say, I haven't decided the exact polishes that I want to use yet. I have pulled a bunch of different pinks and a bunch of different pale blues. And I've pulled a creme white and a fluid art white because I'm not sure if we're going to want to use a fluid art white or a clear fluid art or a baby blue fluid art. I have several different options. So, starting out, just in case anybody here doesn't know about fluid art, somehow it happens, it's fine. Fluid art, basically, you can do it with nail polish, you can do it with acrylic paint. It's very, very popular in acrylic paint pouring stuff. But basically what it is you have several different colors usually that you're combining, and one of them will have an additive that has silicone in it. Okay? So, or a silicone derivative. Often dimethicone is used. So I have here a white fluid art polish from Baroness X and a baby blue, this one's called Cirrus, fluid art polish, also from Baroness X. Obviously this is not the only brand that does this, and there are DIY versions available. Like you can do it yourself. You can buy dimethicone and make your own fluid art nail polish just by adding a bit of the silicone additive to any nail polish you want. People have also done it by using there's some of the hair products. There's a specific, someone here is going to remember which one it is. I think it's a Garnier like hair product that a styling product of some sort that contains dimethicone. So some people also will use that instead of fluid art polishes. I have no experience with any of the other options besides pre-made fluid art polishes. So just putting that up front, I know these other options exist. I don't have any personal experience of them. I've only just used proper pre-made fluid art polishes. So those are sort of the two options that I have, or I can do, I put my clear away. Well, I have a clear one as well. That is an option. But if we want to stick white, blue, pink, then we're going to probably want to use either this as our white with some blues and pinks mixed in, or this as our blue with some pinks and whites mixed in. And we can add another blue probably to that. We'll see what we come up with. So those are the fluid art polish options. And then for our other colors, let me just move this out of the way here. For the baby blues, I have chosen a variety of different polishes that I have. Now, in my experience, this tends to work best. I'm trying to make this so that both the cameras can see them. In my experience, this tends to work best if you have at least one creme sort of holding the structure for everything else. And I'll get into that a little bit more as we go through doing this, but at least one of our polishes should be a creme. We can do more than one we can do like a blue creme and another kind of blue. We can do a pink creme and a different kind of pink. We can try a few different options. I think we are going to want to play around with this a little bit and see what we like. So those two are kind of nice together. That's Sparkling Water and Bet Bet Blue. I also kind of like these two together. That one's got a little bit of a pink shimmer in addition to the hollow. And this is kind of a fun one as well. Could do maybe that. So we're gonna have to mess around with a few different, actually, that could be cute. Might have to try that out. And then for the pinks, we have oh so very many options. Now some of these are going to be a little bit more sort of peachy and some are a little bit cooler. So we'll have to sort of decide which direction we want to go with these. Again, trying to make it so that both cameras can see the various different options. I think this one's way too corally, so we will leave that one out. So here's sort of what I'm thinking. I think we should sort of just pick a couple of options from each and just test them out on mats, because these have to be made as decals regardless. So kind of thinking if we just pick like a creme, a glitter pink, and a creme, a glitter blue, and then white fluid art. Let's test that. And then I would also like to test maybe like a creme and a hollow for each, or even just hollow. We can do just hollow. Like these two hollows, for some reason linear hollows seem to work fine on their own without using a creme for structure. So we could do those two with the white fluid art. We can try that out. Let's start with these and see where that takes us. So I'm going to start with white fluid art polish. And again, if anybody here has not used fluid art polish before, just yell in the chat if you have a question or if something that I do isn't clear. I will endeavor to sort of explain as I go along. But yeah, if I miss something or if I'm rushing, holler at me. So most people that do fluid art do the fluid art polish first. There are a bunch of different ways to do it. Generally speaking, laying down the fluid art first is sort of the seems to be the best way to go. It seems to give you the best movement. So I tend to go with a puddle to start, but I will show you, actually I'm going to do a little bit more. I tend to go with a puddle to start, but I will show you some of the other options as well, because you don't have to do a puddle. Whoop. All right, so I'm going to start with my puddle. I'm going to do a creme. This is to hold structure. I always like to do a creme in between any two specialty polishes that I'm using when I'm doing fluid art. Again, when I say hold structure, what I'm kind of meaning is that, like, if you have like two shimmers, for instance, side by side in a fluid art polish or in a fluid art mix, they will tend to sort of just run into each other and blend too much, if that makes sense. So instead of forming nice cells, it tends to just kind of blob together in an unattractive way. So yeah, using cremes or, as I said, linear hollows work also quite well for this. Do I want to use this one with this? Or do I want to use this one? Yeah, I think I want to use this one with it. Yeah, linear hollows also hold their structure quite well. But like anything that's a glitter in a crelly or jelly base, anything that's a shimmer, these things tend to just sort of disappear into each other. So you need something with a little more structure to hold them all together. All right. So I'm just putting drops inside of drops for the most part. You don't have to necessarily. It is a good way to get sort of nice little rings in your cells when the cells form. All right. Now this is where the magic starts to happen. There's a few different ways that people do this. I like to give them just a little smooch. That's it. Just a little tiny smooch. And then go in with a stamper card, like a scraper card, and pull it out a little bit. And I don't know if this one is going to work out well. We will see. I do see some cells forming. I don't see a ton. And I wonder if we wanted to have maybe some white creme in there as well to also hold some structure in between. So I think we're going to try this one again because I do see a little bit of cell formation. Like in here there's a little bit, and up in here there's a little bit, but it seems like the shimmer escaped a little bit too much and things blended a bit too much. But that's okay. If it doesn't work, you just try again. And this is a thing that I find a lot with fluid art, is that you often end up trying a few things before you land on something that is an attractive combination that you like the look of and that also works well. So this time I'll show you a different method, not because it's going to make a difference to how well it works, but just because I wanted to show you a couple of different methods. So this one, we're going to use some little dots. And then, wait, this is not the one I wanted to use. This is the one I wanted to use. Do a dot of the blue, and in there, and in there. And then I'm going to actually add a dot of white creme on top of the blue. And then I will do my shimmer. And I'm trying to get it inside the other dot. Whoop, that was a lot. And then I'm going to do these dots in between those dots and sort of connect them into a little line. And again, I'll add white inside those. I didn't get quite enough in there, I think. And then our pink shimmer. And it is kind of starting to move all over the place, but that's okay. Again, a little kiss. And then we start scraping. And we're just kind of guiding the polishes as they want to flow downhill a little bit. So I'm actually sort of tilting the whole thing to help the polish move. And this, the pulling with the scraper card basically just helps break the surface tension to help move it in the direction that it is pooling. All right, this looks significantly better. Already I can see there's much better cell structure. So if you look along here, you see some lines. You can see some cell structure in here, some little cells in here, a couple of bigger ones. This one looks much nicer to me. I'm just going to hold this up to the other camera here. Make sure the YouTube camera gets to have a look as well. But yeah, this looks like a much nicer structure to me. So this would be a really good potential option that we can go with. But I want to test a different option as well. I want to test at least one other option here. So there's that one. Now I want to try one that is using linear hollows. And I will use yet another distribution method. And the different distribution methods do in fact, or can in fact, lead to slightly different outcomes in terms of how the polish will move. If you're doing the last one that I did, you tend to get more striping, more large scale striping. Whereas the first one that I did, you don't tend to get really noticeable striping in that one. And I think what I want to do here is do pink in between these. Come on, join up. And then use a white creme in those pink spots. Oop, that was a bigger blob than I intended, but I think that should still be okay. All right, let's see how this one works out. Little kiss. And move it around. Looks like we're getting some really nice cell formation in this one. Linear hollows tend to do very, very nicely with fluid art stuff. I find linear hollows and cremes are sort of the most reliably good polishes to use, but on their own they can be a little bit boring sometimes, so I do often like to add some kind of a shimmer or something. Alright, so there is a linear hollow option. And again, really, really nice cell formation. There's some good ones in here. We've got some interesting stuff happening over here. I really like it when you get these like areas where all of the colors start to intermingle a little bit. I'm going to show that to the YouTube camera. There we go. Make sure everybody gets a look. Okay, so that is our second option. So there was the first one that has the cremes with some shimmers, and then so slightly glittery shimmers. And then this one has creme and linear hollow. So those are both, I think, pretty good options. I think I want to try one more combo before we call it and make a decision. And I think what I want to try is those two, and those two. Okay, so I'll set these guys aside. And so once we've decided between the three of these which ones we like the best, then I can do a bunch more of them to go on my nails. Nails by Susie, I just, you know, for some reason, these colors were just kind of speaking to me today. You know, sometimes you just, a specific color story is just, it just feels extra appropriate. So that's what we're going with. All right, I'm gonna lay this one out a little bit differently this time. You got distracted by a book, Ray? That's all right, I forgive you. And welcome everybody who joined while I was obsessing over my colors and stuff here, trying to decide on what I'm doing. I have a hard time doing something like this and also looking at chat at the same time. So unfortunately, one of the things has to go. All right, pull a little shimmer after the creme break. Whoop. Oh boy, there's a lot more of that than I intended. That's okay though. I kind of feel like putting a little bit more creme in here is going to actually be a good thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop a little bit more creme. I'm feeling like this one is probably sort of going to have some structural issues if I don't. Imagine having to look at what you're doing. I know. Pathetic, honestly. Okay. Hopefully this works out well. We shall see. A little smooch. You don't want to smooch it around too much. If you mix it or rub it around too much or smoosh it too much, then you end up just having over mixing and you get sort of blobs of homogeneous color instead of nice cell formation, which sometimes is going to happen regardless because of the specific polishes you've chosen. Sometimes they just do not cooperate, but yeah, just sort of barely kissing is sort of the way to go with this to give you the best chance. Okay, that one looks like it had some pretty decent cell formation as well. Do I have a polish shaker for polish that sits? No, I do. Well, I mean, I have hands. I use my hands. Okay, this one, really nice cell formation, especially in this middle area here. We got some of those like nested cells where you can see like there's pink inside blue inside white, which is really cute. I like that a lot. I do think that this one doesn't have quite enough sparkle in it. I'm not getting a lot of the shimmer. I'm getting a little bit of shimmer, but I'm not getting a ton of shimmer. Let me just show the YouTube camera here. Focus up, my friend. So yeah, so I think actually I probably could have done a little bit more shimmer in there, but these are the three versions that we have come up with. So slightly different toning in them, but all sort of on the same theme. So what do we think? Do we want to go with, so here was the first one that we did. That was the cremes and glitters, which I think worked out quite nicely. I believe that was this with this and this and this was those four together. So we can do that one. We can do the linear hollow one. This was basically just 2 linear hollows from a hollow taco plus a creme and fluid art, both of them just white. And then the last one that we did, which was just cremes and shimmers. So what do y'all think? Which one should we go with? We gotta pick one to put on my nails. The second one, Nails by Susie votes for the linear hollows. Anybody else? I like them all. I think all 3 of them worked out pretty nicely. They have slightly different vibes, but I like all of them. Certainly the linear hollow plays very well. Purple always wins. None of these are purple. If they were purple, I wouldn't be doing them. It's purple adjacent. I'll give you that. How about that? Ray likes the one on the bottom. Yeah, Nails by Susie. It totally mixed. And also the linear hollow that I used, this one, which I will never think of as anything other than Oink Piz, thanks to an early typo from somebody on Discord. This one does have more of a purplish cast to it. And the sparkling water has it's a almost purple leaning blue, so both of them kind of lean in that direction, so it definitely pulls it more toward a lavenderish sort of tone. Hello, Naiwa. All right. So it looks like we have 2 votes for the linear hollow version, so we can do that. All right, so I will set these guys aside, and we got to make more of this. So this was these 2 and a white, and I did. Okay. Just double checking my brain that I actually had added some extra white creme to this, but yes, I definitely did add some extra white creme to it. So now we gotta make enough of that for all my nails, which is gonna take a bit. So gonna do a little pour here. And got some blue. Come on, drip. Drip faster, damn you. All right, there's the sparkling water. And whoop, that's not what I want to do. I wanted to add some creme in there first. That's about to be too much. There we go. Saw that running down the edge of the brush there and knew it was about to cause a problem. All right, now the Oink Piz. I think that was in the early days of Simply's Discord server that someone came up with Oink Piz as a bad typo, and a bunch of people ended up putting little pig faces in their usernames. All right, hey, quit running away. little kiss. There we go. Get that started back up again. Now, one of the things too with pulling it out is that this is going to help the decal dry a little faster as well. If it's too thick, it takes frickin' forever to dry, which is just a huge problem, especially when you're trying to do everything on a live stream. That's about as good as that's going to get. You've never done this, Nails by Susie? Yeah, Kat, you were there for that. Do you remember who said that? Who originally typoed the Oink Piz? Ray, no, not that. Anything but that. All right. We'll do a different style this time. There we go. Was it Ponks that did that? That makes sense. It does seem like a very Ponks thing to do. She is the queen of typos, after all. A little creme to add some structure. And then we're going to do our blue in the middle here. And then, whoop, that one was a lot of blue. And then I'll do some blue in between. Join those babies up. It is a very on-brand typo for Ponks. You are absolutely correct. If anybody is confused, Ponks is, I think her username is something like Pinky Ponks these days, but a friend of ours from Discord that we all met back on Simply server a long time ago. Years now, my goodness. Okay. Let's start pulling this baby out. Definitely got a little more blending on this one, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is interesting. I think I prefer it a little bit more separated, especially for the theme that we're going for, because we are going for more pink and blue and white rather than lavender, but it's still going to look nice. All right, so there's our second one. Show the YouTube camera. This also looks a little bit more purpley than it will, partly because it is on black. And it has some slight sheerness to it, so I'm gonna put a white base on my nails before I apply these, so that will help to mitigate some of that. That was a little bit more than I meant to put down, but that's okay. All right, this one we're going to do a slightly different method, which, oh, I just realized I'm like way, way down on the bottom edge for everybody. Sorry about that, y'all. Just going to do like random little dots. And I'm going to do random little dots of the blue. We'll see how different this one looks. One more over here. And for this one, I think I'm not going to add any extra creme because I did not put them right up like inside each other. So we'll see how this changes things. A lot of doing fluid art stuff is just fucking around and hoping that one of the things that you do looks really cool. And most of the time, it works out so that at least some of the things that you do look really cool. There's always a few that look less cool, in my experience. All right, this one looks pretty good. I like this one. Got some nice striping. Look at that. We got some good trans flag action here in this section. That's fun. Very good. Show the YouTube camera. Focus up, please. Thank you. There we go. All right. I gotta wipe this sucker again. Set that aside. Now, I have kind of run out of mats here. I'm gonna have to clean off one of the ones I used when I was doing some testing earlier on. So, here's one that I was testing with earlier when I thought maybe I would add some black into it. But I decided that as much as I like this, it doesn't really read quite how I wanted it to read for the theme. But it is pretty. Just showing the YouTube camera if it will focus. Come on. Thank you. Yeah. So very pretty, but not quite on theme for today. So let's just give this a quick cleanup. So that I can use it for the next thing. All right. Hello, Linry. All right, so I have currently 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do one more just to make sure that I have enough for all of my nails. And then we'll see about getting a color code on my nails. Okay. Blue. And a little bit of creme. And then our pink. Gonna just do in between. And a little bit of creme. Whoop, hey, quit running away. The problem with these silicone rounds is, of course, once you've used them once, they swell up for a while, and it takes them some time to come back down. So, all right. Here we go. Oh, we got some real nice formation in this one. Look at that. Look at those cells. That one's fun. Come on. Pull it out. Get a little bit more spread. Okay, good stuff. I like this one a lot. I'm gonna show the other camera. Okay, so let's set that last one aside. And hopefully by the time I am ready, to start making decals, or to start peeling decals, they will be ready to go. Hopefully. So I'm going to use a white base for this. Technically, you don't really have to use any kind of base for fluid art decals, but I generally like to, just because if one of the polishes that you've used in the fluid art mix is slightly sheer, that can obviously change the way it looks. Still rocking a fake nail here on my index from that break, because I'm swatching and I wanted to have a little bit of length, because some of the stuff that I'm swatching is thermals, and you can totally swatch thermals without a free edge, but boy, it's a lot easier with a free edge. So much less work. Don't have to sit here with a bowl of water. It's the one thing I always hate about thermals. I love thermals, but like when you're trying to swatch them, that's just annoying. Where's my cleanup brush? Oh my god, I dropped it on the floor somehow. Oy. There we go. Those lines are cool. I wish I could get countertops like this that won't burn. You mean the marble from the fluid art? Yeah, unfortunately, rocks don't really grow that way. And the man-made ones, as cool as they are, do in fact burn and melt if you put hot things on them. But, you know, an option is to just not put hot things directly on the counter. Just saying. Trivets exist. We have those real crappy counters with the like vinyl fake wood. Basically, it's just like a giant sticker on top of, you know, pressed board or whatever, in our kitchen from the 80s. And yeah, so we have to put trivets down whenever we put anything even vaguely hot down on it. Nails by Susie, you just swatched your first thermal and catching it in various states is hard. Yeah, that's why I like having a little free edge, because I run hot. So as long as the air is cool enough to have it be in the cool state and I have a little bit of free edge, I'm good. I'll have the transition right there on my nails automatically. But it is much harder if your nails are shorter. And I know a lot of people, especially a lot of women, tend to run a little colder, and so it can be difficult to get the warm phase, which is always funny to me because, like, sometimes I see swatches of thermals and it's clearly reversed. Like, they've had to dip their fingertips in warm water to get the warm transition, so the warm transition is on the tips of their nails instead of on the part where their skin is, and you're like, you're a vampire and you just dipped your nails in warm water to make that work. I understand that it is me that is the weird one, but it's still funny. Alright, this was my first tester. Let's see if it can peel yet. Melbell Elephant, you just put on thermals today and you run cold. Nails by Susie, yours are mostly warm state. Yeah, I run super hot. If it's like in the summertime, there's no way I can't wear a thermal in the summertime. It's so hard. One of the brands that I swatch for released a couple of thermals this past summer, and I was dying trying to get those things to transition because like I run hot. I don't keep my AC on high. Like we're very, very stingy with our air conditioning. Not only do we not turn it on until it is truly abysmally hot, but we only turn it on sort of to the point where we're not actually dying in our house. So, yeah, so I was just like literally sitting with an ice pack in my lap, sticking my hands in the ice pack, like between layers of ice pack to try and cool myself off enough to get the cold shift. Okay, so my first one is ready to apply. I think I'm going to put a little bit of a sticky base down because this is already dried pretty well. And you know, like, I didn't worry about having like a, you know, perfectly opaque base for this. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's truly not going to matter at all. So I think, let me just decide which area of this I want to use. So we've got some nice, interesting formation in here. I really like this swoosh in here. I feel like maybe this area. Yeah, I think I want to go for that area. I don't want that on my thumb though. I'm gonna do that on my index. So I'm just gonna put down a layer of a sticky base and just wait for a moment for it to dry enough to be sticky instead of wet. Hey Lizmo. Naiwa, you have a little space heater and a heating pad on your feet and your fingers are still cold. I'm sitting in my studio right now in a tank top. And like we only have the heat set at like I think 21 or something. And it's only that warm because like we have animals that are sensitive to the cold that would not survive if it got too cold. But yeah. I run hot. I'm boiling right now. All right. So, yeah, I think, how do I want to do this? I think like here? Let's do here. There we go. All right. So, if you've seen me do decals before, you already know the drill with this. I know some people like to use scissors for this part, but for me, I find it harder to be precise with scissors, so I just do a pressure cut. The only time I bring out the scissors really is if my decals are too dry and won't pressure cut properly. This is a little bit extra difficult with a fake nail on because it kind of changes the depth here at the proximal nail fold. Okay, and then because this is nice and soft, I'm going to fold it in a little bit, pinch and pull that way, and it will just tear right up against the edge of that fake nail. Obviously works the same way for a real nail, as long as you have a free edge. If you don't have any free edge, you're gonna have to either cut or press cut to get that off. I do have the studio lights on. Yeah, that's true, Ray. It does warm things up a little bit. But not by that much. It is actually at least a degree or two warmer upstairs than it is downstairs too. Like if I'm on the sofa, it doesn't quite get to 21 down there. It usually is more like 20, maybe 20 and a half. I'm sorry to the Americans. I'm not translating it. I don't know what to tell you. I might live in the US, but I am not one of you. All right. Okay, so there's our first decal applied and tidied up a little bit, and we will do a top coat a little bit later. I mean, yeah, it's between 70 and 80, but that's a huge range, May. I think between like 68 and 72 is your range. Somewhere in there. If you really want to know, you can look it up. That's a huge range, May. 70 to 80 is a huge range. 80 is fucking hot. I know you don't think 80 is hot, but 80 is fucking hot. If you think 80 is room temperature, then that's crazy. That's not even room temperature in Florida. This is a little bit too soft still. Needs to dry a little bit more. And I think that's the next driest one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Hang on, let me see. Oh, maybe this one is the next driest one. Should it be? I don't know. Let's see. May, don't come in here and tell me you haven't eaten since 5 a.m. Melbell Elephant, you looked it up and it's 69.8. There you go. What'd I tell you? I was pretty close there. What did I say? Somewhere between 68 and 72? Which is also a fairly big range, but... all I really remember is that, like, my lowest sort of I can deal with this indoor temperature, like room temperature range is like 68, 69. And the highest I can comfortably deal with is like 76. I will tolerate 78 in the summertime, as long as it cools off a bit at night. I think that's the number I'm thinking of. Maybe it's more than that. I don't know. I can't think in Fahrenheit. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's crazy. It's a crazy system. You had to do inventory at another pharmacy, May? That sucks. Okay, this one, I really like this area in here. I'm going to do this part on my thumb. Okay, let's turn that upside down for a moment. I'm going to add my sticky base onto my thumb. Do you get a couple of days off now, May? Please say yes. You deserve some days off. You really need more days off than you get. just let that go a little bit longer before I put that on. No? Oh no. Okay. Should be good now. The sticky base that I use is actually the Holo Taco Quick Dry base. Not marketed as a sticky base, but is quite tacky when it dries, and dries nice and quick. So that is my preferred base for this kind of thing. Mei, you need a job that respects you. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. We all deserve to have jobs that respect us. Uh-oh. Part of my, oh dear. All right, well, I'll deal with that afterward. Jeez. I started having a minor emergency off to the side here, because part of that decal was still a little bit wet, and it decided to attach itself to this nail. And so now I have to somehow pry this off, preferably without needing to completely redo this nail. All right, I'm just gonna very gently. Good enough. It's gonna get covered, so it's fine. All right. You're right, it is not going to happen in healthcare in America. I understand. I know. I get it. Especially right now. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this fluid art. That's why. Because I don't know what else I can do besides give money to people who are doing useful things. And help the people that I care about as much as I can. You know, just trying to stay okay as much as possible, right? Okay. We'll clean up. I ended up trimming a little bit more than I really wanted to there, but that's okay. So this, using, because you guys can't see it, let me just put this over here. I'm dipping my brush in a little bottle cap of acetone, and then dabbing it slightly on a cotton pad to get rid of any excess acetone so I don't flood things. And so basically using this to clean up the edges and also sort of melt the decal to the base and sort of melt it into place a little bit. Obviously you just want to do that around the edges because otherwise it will mess up the center of the decal because it is acetone and that's what it does. I felt that sigh of dread in my bones. Yeah, Melbell Elephant. It's a lot like that these days, but all we can do is our best, right? So, okay. Next. This one should be good to go now, I think. Hopefully. I did prep both hands, but I think just for the sake of time, we'll leave it at just one hand. Because otherwise this will become a very, very long stream indeed. And I have to go check on my stepdaughter's cats. She's away at a con. I think she's at MagFest. Ah, shit. Ah, oh no. Ah! Chaos. Chaos has occurred. Alright, I gotta do a little touch up here. That's okay. It's gonna be okay. Nobody panic. This middle finger is really giving me trouble. I'm just gonna let it get a little tacky again. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, unfortunately, MagFest is not about magnetic stuff. Or I would absolutely be there. Yeah, it's a nerd con. For nerds. And my stepdaughter has a booth, I believe. She does cool shit, actually. She does these really cool, like, actually usable Ita bags. You know, the like, bags that have the window in them so you can show your pins or whatever. They're usually used for enamel pins and stuff. So you can like show them, but they're also protected and they can't fall off your bag because they're in a protective compartment that is clear. That she has those things that she makes. She designs them and has them produced for her. But they're like actually usable because a lot of those things are very cute, but they don't hold very much. She has a couple that are like that, but she also has some that are like more like full-size functional backpack that you can actually use as your daily backpack for school or work or whatever. You know, holds a proper size laptop and all that. But has, you know, 2 big window compartments for all your pins and stuff. So she does those, and then she also does pins, enamel pins, and washi tape, and other stuff. And now she got herself a laser cutter, and so she's doing some laser cut stuff now, like earrings and things. Yeah, music and gaming. Hey, Chris. You're gonna have to try this technique. Which technique is that? Just like fluid art in general or something specific? Have you not done fluid art, Chris? What is my cleanup brush? My cleanup brush is from Dimension Nails. She actually sent this to me. She was sending me a few of the polishes from a collection as PR, and she threw in this cleanup brush as well, which was very kind of her. It is the number 7. I think it's called a round or an oval or something like that. But yeah, I have been really enjoying it. I had only used like sort of more blunt tipped ones before. That were, you know, quite a bit shorter than this. Like I'd started out with the Holo Taco one, which is rounded, but not as rounded as this. It's definitely closer to Squoval. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this one. You haven't tried fluid art yet, Melbell Elephant? Yeah, it's pretty firm, Chris. Yeah. I mean, okay, so I'm not gonna diss the Holo Taco cleanup brush. It's whatever. My first one was fine. But any cleanup brush that you get if you do not take care of it, is going to get destroyed. The acetone is really hard on them. And so you do have to actually do a little bit of maintenance to keep them looking nice and working well, unfortunately. I do think that one deteriorated, the Holotako one that I had deteriorated a little faster than some of the other ones that I've had. But yeah, you can definitely extend the life of any brush, at least to a decent extent, just by taking good care of it, which means, like, after you're finished using it, you rinse it in pure acetone and blot it dry, and then ideally rinse it in a little bit of water, and then blot it dry, and then oil it. Now, I confess I often skip the water step because I often do not have water handy. I try to do it, reasonably often. But a lot of the time it's acetone, blot, and then oil, and that seems to do a good enough job that my brushes stay pretty decent. But I always oil them after every use. It makes a huge difference. Okay, I already put my sticky base on there. I think I'm going to use this part that has the larger cells in here for my ring finger, and then I want to use this area here for my pinky. So, how do I want to, you know what, I'm going to pre-cut this just to make it a little easier to manage. Ah, shit, it happened again. These things. All right, here we go. You got the free HT cleanup brush this December, but your original one isn't dead yet? Well, that's good. Maymay, I can send you pics later, or you can just look at her website. It's Rotoodle. Actually, look at the link on her Instagram. It's Rotoodle. Her Instagram is either Rotoodle or Rotel. Not sponsored. I do have one of those bags though, and I really like it. It's very good. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, the cells in this one came out really nice. Not a lot of color dynamism, but nice shape. So, need a little bit more acetone here. Rotoodle, you spammed her with a few posts. I don't know if she's gonna see much right now because she is, as I say, at MagFest. So she will probably be pretty busy. A nice thing though is that when she goes to cons, she will, if she sees artists whose work she thinks I will like, she'll DM me their Instagram info and photos of their work. Which is very dangerous for me, actually, because it means that I'm following even more artists whose work I love and want to purchase. But overall, I'm happy to be following more artists. Oh, you spammed Maymay with Rotoodle posts. Okay, good. Now, while you're using the Mooncat cleanup brush, I haven't used that one. I don't really know. What shape is that one? Is it one of the more square ones? I was for a little while using an angled one. It's like a little wedge. Hang on. Well, this one I've used for a while, but this one, I was using this one for a while, and I think that I hate it. I don't like it as much as I like the round one, now that I've sort of gotten to play with the more round one. I think I still have my Hollow Taco one. Yeah, this is my first ever Hollow Taco cleanup brush. And she's a little rough. She's looking a little frayed, but you know, not awful. Let me see if I can show the YouTube camera here. It's not in the worst shape. I did take pretty good care of it. So, you know. That was my first ever cleanup brush. Got that whenever they first came out with them. Don't remember when that was. Now the Mooncat one is ovalish but tiny. Melville Elephant, it took you forever to get competent at using a cleanup brush without destroying your mani. Yeah, felt. I feel like that's everybody. Like, and even now, sometimes I'll like be, you know, doing a little cleanup and I'll somehow manage to just like swipe all the way into my mani and just completely screw it up. And it's like, I don't even know how that happens at this stage. Like you've been doing this long enough, you should be able to figure it out by now. But every once in a while, I don't know. Like sometimes my hand detaches itself from my brain and says, I'm going rogue, doing my own thing. I'm my own woman. All right. There we go. Got more of the blue in that one, which is nice. It has a mind of its own. It's true. All right. Get this cleaned up. And then it's going to be top coat time. And that's going to be it. Incredible. All right. I do feel like I'm probably going to have to do some more nail art, sort of using some rainbows and, you know, these kinds of flag-inspired color combos over the next little while. Maybe I should do some watermelon nails. You know, I feel like it's got to be done. I've got a little bubble under here. Just a teensy little bubble. I'm going to try and squish it out. And if I cannot squish it out, then I will stab it out. Yeah, it's not squishing very nicely. Alright, hold up. Your oldest cleanup brush is 7 years old? Seriously? And it's still going strong? That's wild. Of course, you don't do your nails as often as I do either, so... does fluid art ever smudge with top coat? Yeah, it can. It certainly can. I find mostly if you're using like a very highly pigmented creme. So like this white creme is very likely to smudge. And so I typically, if I'm using a white creme or a black creme in my fluid art, I will do a seal coat or I've got another one here, or a waterproof or water-based top coat before I do my regular top coat. All right, there we go. Got those bubbles out. Okay. If I can't squish it out, I'll stab it out. Yeah. You know, sometimes it's okay for a sentence to be horrifying outside of its context. I think that's fine. Yeah, so I'm using Seal Glaze here, the DRK Seal Glaze. Any top coat that is, you know, less smudgy would be fine for this. And again, only because I used a highly pigmented white creme in this that I know to be a smudgy friend. So once that has dried a bit, then I will put a regular top coat on top of that. In fact, I might mattify this. I feel like this will be really nice matte. So maybe I will do that. I'm gonna have to try and take photos of this. Hopefully it's sunny tomorrow. I can take some photos in the sun because that hollow is gonna be really nice in the sun. Should be fun. Although if I do it matte, I'm gonna kill the hollow. Shit. I don't think I can do it matte. I think I have to do it glossy so that I can see the hollow. You're thirding the matte. It's linear hollow though. Naiwa, not Moyu's no smudge. That's the one that you were complaining about, right? Liney just entered the chat voting glossy. Yeah, sunshiny picks and then matte. Ray, listen, sweetie, your heart's in the right place, but you're forgetting that I do not wear a mani more than 24 hours. I'm not going to take sunshine photos tomorrow morning and then mattify it just so that I can take it off right away. Because then I'd be mattifying it to take more photos of it. That would be the only point. And I have 2 more polishes to swatch tomorrow. I did 5 the day before yesterday and 4, is that right? 5 today. I have 2 more to go on this upcoming Arcana collection that I'm swatching. All right, we're top coating. We're top coating. I know. Anybody who has used the DRK Seal Glaze, it says that you're supposed to wait like half an hour or whatever. I've literally never done that. It has never been a problem. It's fine. It's fine. Like, I will wait longer if I'm doing something that's like really, where you're really going to notice bubbles. Like if I've done, you know, all creme detailed nail art, then I will wait longer than this. But I'm not waiting half a freaking hour. Literally never. That's crazy. That's a crazy amount of time to wait. Like 10 minutes. That's all I'm gonna wait. Anything that really actually requires me to wait more than 10 minutes between coats is not going on my nails. Not more than once, anyway. I don't know where they got their half hour from, but I have not found it to be necessary. Melbell Elephant, I am nowhere near a swatching machine. You know who's a swatching machine? Fucking Lisa. Lisa is a swatching machine. That woman, Jesus, she does so much swatching and somehow has a full-time job. I don't understand how she does it. Yeah, and another big collection. They have it's another 12-piece collection that they're coming out with. But it's freaking gorgeous. It's really, really pretty. Lots of thermals. It's perfect time of year for it. Look at this. Look how fun. I love it. I love how this came out, y'all. I gotta show the YouTube camera here. YouTube camera doesn't want to focus up nicely. Oh well. Yeah. Yeah, Arcana is really, really killing it with their collections lately. They're having a good time over there for sure. And just beautiful stuff. I really like this collection. But we'll talk about that another day. I will probably end up doing a live stream of those when I'm allowed to show them to you, but today is not that day. I think they're coming out mid-February. I'm pretty sure they come out on February 14th. So probably I will be doing a live stream of them, whatever is the Thursday before that. I don't know what day of the week that's on, but anyway. Yeah, Liney, I'll have the VOD of this up. I'll put it up here right away, but I will try and get it up on YouTube tomorrow if people prefer to watch the YouTube version. I find it a lot easier to watch VODs on YouTube, so I try and get them up. I was pretty late last week, but hopefully this week I'll be able to get it up right away. All right, well, thank you all for helping me pick my my colors, my polishes for this very gendery, fluidy nail art stream. I'm extremely pleased with how these came out, and you know, if you learned something, then I hope you go and do some nail art of your own. Do some fluid art, and then show me your fluid art. I like it when you do that. It makes me happy. All right, thanks everybody. Bye.